In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto.
Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boy Crusader here. Welcome back for another episode of Around the Charts TA Thursday with the ones and onlys leading crypto, magic internet money, and CVO crypto. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
How you doing, sir? Always a pleasure to be here.
Awesome having you guys, man. I appreciate it. You guys are always been here in the channel since the very beginning, so it's nice when it's just us once again here in the TA Thursdays. So yeah, man, I mean, it's simple, guys. Smash the likes, right? Join the Discord if you have not joined the Discord. DCA bug out drop is happening next Friday, not tomorrow, the following Friday, the 26th of August. It comes with a 3-day survival boot camp. So if you are not involved, get involved, join the movement. DCA all the way. So guys, what's going on? How's everything over there in leading crypto?
Oh, it's always fantastic, man. I'm just trading. That's all it is. This is just trading. Bitcoin's not necessarily in no man's land, but it's in a spot where it's like marrying positions from up here is kind of difficult. So you just trade the levels for what they are and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, before we get into the charts and all the craziness, what is your guys' feelings about the market, right? The day-to-day trading right now with the way this market is set up. You know, there's a lot of crazy news, a lot of crazy things, right? The Ethereum merge, all that stuff. But how is it on the day-to-day right now?
The day-to-day is not too bad. That's been, that stuff doesn't change too much. What's been kind of difficult was not day-to-day. I guess you could call it intraday. Looking for that solidified like short position at the highs. Or is it going to break out type thing? It just kept swing failing the high. So it was kind of a difficult position to find a concrete stop loss, things like that. But, you got several other opportunities as price kind of played out. If you were patient, you could have got into a position if you were ready and waiting. Otherwise, just not a great place to look for longs. Let's put it that way. You're looking for that short, but you don't want to be that guy that just keeps getting stopped out. Because, again, it did take the highs like 3 or 4 times before it finally did kind of start rolling over.
Paul, what about you? How do you feel about the day-to-day, man?
I just pay attention to the moon phases, and so far, so good. Yeah. No, just kidding. Looking at high time frame, especially the ranges that we've been dealing with. I know we've talked a lot about them here on our channels, within our group and everything. Paying a lot of attention to the altcoins myself, and there was, the time to be involved heavily was, throughout up until about June and July. And right now we're starting to hit those take profit levels across the short term here. So kind of like Magic said, it's hard to look for brand new fresh longs right here, unless you're just looking to enter for long term and things of that nature. So it really depends on what your strategy may be. But I'm still in the camp that we're going to range it out quite a while. So for probably even the next 12 months, I'll go into detail on what I mean by that. Not necessarily just within the $600 window we're in right now, but things of that nature. So
perfect, dude. Perfect. So we know Magic Internet Money, you're the Bitcoin TA beast in the house, right? So what are you seeing for Bitcoin before we jump into the altcoins, and then CVO can take it away?
Yeah, let me share my screen. We'll kind of walk through the price action real quick here. It's pretty simple. Honestly, you could really work off of this analysis for quite some time right now, just because we've spent a fair amount of days up here. But in reality, you could zoom it out to like the weekly chart at this point. And so realistically, where you want to be at is you want to be above the current weekly open. You'll see me use opens quite a bit if you guys have been watching the show, but this would be kind of the level that you really wanted to get back above and live here. So you're looking at possibly bearishly engulfing this last week. So you did come down, tap support here. I was actually waiting for the secondary tap here to see if we couldn't get a swing failure pattern of the low. But if you start giving up this like 23,166 level, also going to be your previous month, if you were to be looking at it in terms of pivot wise, right? So if we go back in time a little bit, you can see that this was also your prior month average, which was a statistical target for us coming off of these lows. So you want to see this area of the chart holding. You could really start to box it off just based on averages, based on what kind of support is there. And if you do that, it actually makes things a little more simple without getting into all the levels. you could just box it off like so. And you could say, this is my overall resistance of the highs here, which is your prior wick low right here, all the way into the 60-day average at 25,838. But realistically, lose 23,166, you're probably coming down to the bottom of this box, which I believe is a quarterly level, if I recall. Nope, it's a 6-month level. We'll go ahead and pull it up right here at 22,407. And if you just extend this left and right so you can see exactly how things line up, you don't want to really fall back into this range because you can see you're living above it, holding it as support. You lose this and things start to not necessarily look bad for Bitcoin, but it looks like to me as a secondary opportunity at the lows, which could be looked at as something, I call it a coveted position, in the sense that you're going to get that retest into the range. And if you're looking for your positions, you can then start looking at things and saying, man, if I can get this, this is another opportunity for me to add to my positions at a discount potentially. You don't always get that. So you have to be prepared for it. But until you actually lose this box of support right here, you're not going to see these lows down here. These lows are going to be like your quarterly open, another really big level. So this would be it's technically a monthly level of support as well at 19,916.50, but it's also your Q3 open. And when you're looking at things on the high time frames, those are going to be fairly important areas on the chart to hang on to. So if we go out to a quarterly, just real quick, it might get a little muddy here, but you can see you are trying to set up some level of support here at the low. So you want to see this quarterly open defended over the next couple months. So if we don't, make a move for these higher resistances here and things continue to go sideways, if price returns back to these levels on this backfill, you just want to see that level defended. You want to treat it as an opportunity, especially if it is defended. That's going to be where the best positions are going to be had. The only concerning thing that you'll find in like order flow necessarily for the current low that we have is, one, I believe it was made on a weekend, and two, this is considered a poor low. So not the strongest thing you want to see when you're coming down and trying to set in a macro range. Doesn't mean that it's going to break down to 10K just because this is a poor low. But what it does mean is a challenge of that low is likely on the horizon, could be several months down the road. Sometimes it's just a couple weeks down the road. But if you do get that challenge and you get a good reaction, you get those trapped shorts that you want to see. A lot of times that is the confirmation low that you want, like right here. This would be your confirmation low, right? So you get an action like that. So if that's given, a lot of people are going to get scared. A lot of people are going to be calling for 10K. I just don't necessarily see that happening right away unless there's a black swan event. So yeah, that's pretty much the analysis. Now, if you hold 23K, then yeah, I mean, you can definitely push up to this like $28,000 region. But this is going to be the pivotal area on the chart, right in here, this little range. So you mark off the levels that are important for the short term and medium term. This one right here, this box is going to dictate quite a bit over the coming weeks, I think.
So quick question. So I'm not a big believer in the 10K target. I would love to see a 10K Bitcoin, right? Because I can only imagine where the altcoins are going to be. You'll be able to scoop up some very, very cheap Ethereum, some very cheap, altcoins in general. But everyone has gotten so, wrapped up about the 10K Bitcoin, 10K Bitcoin, or 12K Bitcoin. I think when that happens and that becomes such a popular target, I think that's almost like automatically X's out. Like, hey, that's not going to happen. But obviously, that's just my opinion. I'm not a TA expert by any chance at all. You were talking about, that 28K or, the upper band of that range. What would be one thing that if we reach that upper end of the range, right, 28 or whatever it is, some other people are calling for us to keep moving from there on the way up, like not coming back down? What would be something you would have to see and be like, okay, I don't think we're coming back?
I actually have it marked on the chart already. This would be the Q1 low right here from 2022, 32,903. That was a really big level. And again, when you were setting in this whole range right here, I do track all the ranges independent of each other, plus as a large whole. But if you were to look into, I believe it was June.
We can't see your screen right now. If you're
my bad. I forgot I stopped sharing it there.
No worries.
And we actually covered this a long time ago, but it's always good to refresh. I believe it was June of 21 right here. And there's your bottom, right? So this was the bottom that you had set in, and actually was predicated off of this range too. So these were almost identical ranges when you set in your support. What you want to see is you want to see this reclaimed. And I'll go ahead and highlight this so that people can see it a little bit better on the background. There we go. So this was the range to find acceptance back into this overall area. So if you get above 32,903 and you start living inside of this range again, which does coincide with the point of control of this old section of price as well, both here and here, things begin to look a little less like, hey, it's coming back. At that point, you've probably got a very quick move to about 38,000 and some change. And then, once you get out of this, I do think you probably just see $47,000 again, and you re-challenge that annual pivot. So the point of no return for me would be reclaiming the quarter one low. You start holding that as support. Again, we were talking about it just a little bit ago when we went to the 3-month chart. These are usually pretty solid levels for that reason. You can see you don't have a ton of these on the chart. The ones that we did have were right here, right? You could have mapped this off as its own range, but you did set a new one in here about the EQ. So should you start living above that quarter one low right here at 32,903, one would assume a move back to this quarterly level, which comes in at 46,195, would also be your yearly open. So right around that 47K region, which would be a statistical target, both mathematically, just because you do have the yearly pivot in that region as well, which is just all the price actions averaged from the year prior. And they're generally very well respected, but once reclaimed, those they indicate a pretty good move is coming. And that's actually where you bounced from right here. This is the yearly pivot. It came in at, I believe it was 81.03 or 81.09. And that was the exact low almost right here on this wick down once you V-shape recovered. So if we were going to get that melt up scenario, I think is what you're hinting at. Where's the point of no return? To me, it's about 33,000, give or take. 32,903 is the exact number, but that is what I'd be looking for. I don't see that happening, but been wrong before.
We can all hope. We can all hope.
As long as it happens, if it happens in 2023, I won't be upset. But otherwise, otherwise it can do whatever it wants between now and then.
So, dude, thank you for the Bitcoin analysis. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, I like, like I said, I don't believe we're going to see a 10K, but anything can happen. Could we go a lot lower? Possibly. Could we go higher? Also possibly. But I do agree with you guys on the fact that we're probably going to be ranging here for quite a bit of time. Just things are very uncertain, and there's a lot of pushing and pulling one way or another, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. But Paul, CVO, the altcoin king, what's going on in the altcoin, man? I saw you tweet something about Chainlink and I think maybe Near. I don't know if you guys had something special you want to talk about those, or just any other altcoin in specific besides Ethereum.
Yeah, I mean, I can pull up Chainlink and Near and Ethereum actually. So go ahead and start looking at those. All right. Hopefully, I was having some issues with Restream yesterday, and I don't know if it's still occurring.
Everything's looking pretty good for now. Well, I think he just froze.
Looks good frozen.
He definitely froze there.
He's been having issues. He just moved, and he said that he got his Restream issues all figured out. So we'll see if he pops back in. That proves to be false, Paul.
Yep. Still having some technical difficulties out there. Signal just dropped. But in the meantime, guys, continue to smash the likes. Join the DCA group, right? We're having a Twitter space tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time to talk about the drop that's coming next week, and to talk about the kind of where we've been exploring the story of what DCA is. Oh, what's going on, Paul? I see you waving your hand.
All right, let me see if
I see you waving your hand. So yeah, guys, the game. Make sure you guys join into the Discord and figure out what's going on there. There's a cipher, people trying to crack the cipher. There's kings, there's queens, there's bishops. Everybody's fighting. Everybody's trying to figure it out. There's only going to be one winner, and we're going to be exploring deeper into the story of 2084. Paul, you got your chart ready?
It is not letting me.
Seems like we've lost him once again.
I think we just lost him.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul.
Makes the show more suspenseful, though. Guys, smash the likes if you're missing Paul already. Just smash the likes for him.
I was just letting him know. Try doing it without your camera. If he's having an issue with his internet, the camera will actually eat up quite a bit
Yeah, the bandwidth. That's part of
bandwidth.
it.
Yeah, because I know he's trying to stream that pretty face in HD. Oh, that's good. That's rich.
He should be jumping in here any second now, guys, and we're gonna be covering the altcoins. Don't get sad. The show's not over. The show will go on. Right. But I guess 9:00 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Twitter Space. This bug out drop. 3-day survival bootcamp NFT drop happening next Friday on the 26th. So make sure you don't miss on that. Only 500 pieces. They're gonna go fast. Our free mints literally went out on the public mint in 2 hours. That was 2,500 pieces. So 500 pieces that bring a 3-day survival bootcamp. Yeah, we don't expect that to last long. So make sure you get in there, get whitelisted, get involved, get prepared. The times are ugly, man. Times are ugly. You never know what's happening. And if you don't have the skills and resources to face real life scenarios, your metaverse character is not gonna save you.
All right, I'm messing around with some of your guys in the chat. We got one troll in there, so I'm like, we got one guy. He's like, something about the moon phases. How about like the quarter that those were only 25% accurate? So, yeah. I'll pass on your jelly for sure, bro.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. That share screen button just crashing me. Unfortunately.
You seem to be okay right now.
Is it sharing the screen?
Yep. Screen's up.
Okay. You see the ETH screen?
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right. So
now it went off. Hold up. Now it fell off. So for some reason.
It's keeping it secret.
Some boomer moments going on in here.
For real. All right, let me just try a Chrome tab instead of the whole page.
Yeah, just share the one tab. It might eat less bandwidth. All right, here we are. We got the charts.
All right, I'll trust you. I don't see it on my side. So if you're seeing this, it was the major area we were paying attention to for pretty much. It's kind of range within a range. The overall, high was this one right here, right? So for the short time being, we were looking down at it as we went pretty well.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but you're like skipping out, and then I know your voice speed tries to like catch up to everything. I don't know what's going on.
All right.
I can hear you fine right now.
Damn.
Are you trying to speak now? I don't hear anything.
Share the screen, and I'll just.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No worries.
All right. So
we'll envision it. We'll use our imagination.
Let's see if I can just kick the camera on at least so you can see my ugly face. So the range that we were looking at for quite a while, right? Basically, the low was at 959 with the daily close not closing any lower than that. I know we wicked below to a weekly around 885. That range kind of kicked back in when we fell into it on June 10th at 1650, ran to the range low. We kind of created this structural area similar to what Bitcoin is kind of ranging around towards the low as well, between that like 19 to 20K, where we kind of stuck around there for like 2 or 3 weeks there. From there, Ethereum, obviously kind of led the way a couple weeks back when it kind of broke out of that little structural range, shooting up towards the 2017 all-time high at about $1,400. And then from there, we shot up to this previous range we were looking at, the value area high, which was basically back to 1650. Broke out of that. We were targeting an untapped quarterly key level. So that's a high time frame average of price. That's at 1853. So far, we've actually, obviously busted through there and slowly hugging around that region right now, right? So now if we were to zoom out to the larger range that we're in, that comes into play where the value area high is actually all the way up towards about 2,400 with a macro golden pocket up here at about 2,650. So in terms of, looking at a pullback right now, we did run into a daily resistance, a high volume node. Both those came in right at about $20,013. The quarterly key level is what we're kind of holding on to right now, about 1850, that 1846 in the in the exact dollar right now. There is an untapped monthly from last month, down back at about 1492. So if we were to start heading lower, losing 1715, I would imagine that we're going to come down to this untapped monthly key level about 1500. There's also a golden pocket down here back at like $1,200, and that's still been the area for fresh longs, right? When how Magic was just talking about looking for that area of like new best entries, for Bitcoin back down towards like 20,000, in that region. If you get back to that region for Ethereum, that's your the best area at the moment. Otherwise, hopefully you've already been in from the lows, or obviously you've probably been holding on from a while back. And the next major target's coming in. We got an untapped monthly at 2,200. Like I said, the value area high, range high, however you want to look at it, is 2,400. And then we've got the golden pocket for the entire move down from 3,600 all the way down to 880, coming in about 2,700. So I would imagine that we're probably going to cycle it up towards that 2,400 region. I'm really looking for that golden pocket if we get to it. The reason the golden pocket comes into play, that I really like that a lot, is if we run it up to that region at $2,700 basically. There's that untapped monthly. I would love to be able to show you guys this. Obviously I can't, but the untapped monthly I was talking about back at all the way down to 1492. If we run from here up towards the golden pocket, the macro at 2,700, that would give you another golden pocket on the way down, level, equating to that untapped monthly, EQ of the range, things of that nature. So pushing it up towards that region, I would imagine that Bitcoin's up at 28, 29, 30K. All things would align pretty well in that idea set.
Dude, savage. So we're talking, I didn't catch the bottom. What'd you say? It was 880 for Ethereum if we cycle back down?
I'm sorry?
Did you say the bottom for Ethereum was 880 if we cycle it back down?
I mean, if you rotate the whole range all the way, the low right now would be back down at 880. But I mean, I'd be really looking to pay attention to like that $1,200 region. I think is going to come in pretty strong if we come all the way down there. Also,
you think we're going to hold well above 1K this time if we do come back down?
Yeah, I do for now. Like things can change obviously, but I think if we run it to that $2,700, I think that we lower case at least at the moment would be come back down about that 1,200 region. I think same thing with Bitcoin, right? Everybody be looking for the low again, right? Take out the low or aiming lower, things like that. But there's a lot of support right there, and high time frame point of control. The golden pocket would line up right there pretty nicely. So that would kind of be that idea. But that's kind of speculative at the moment. We'd have to push it up towards about 2,700 before really looking at that. But either way, coming back down to $1,200, I think that would hold pretty well for quite a while. So.
Yeah, I mean, with the Ethereum merge going on, right? I think that could be 2,700s could definitely be very well in play. For people that don't know about the Ethereum merge, they're calling it the triple halvening. So it's almost like 3 Bitcoin halvenings in Ethereum all at once. The supply that's being generated by proof of work right now on Ethereum is going to be reduced by 90%. So 90% of Ethereum being produced currently will be taken out of circulation, right? It will stop being produced. So it's like 3 different halvenings happening all at once, and then that's going to obviously reduce the selling pressure for Ethereum quite a bit, since the miners not going to be stakers are not going to be receiving as much Ethereum as they were before. So selling pressure technically should be way lower, and causing this price to be pushed up to 2,700. So I definitely see that happening. I mean, 2,700, let's go any day. But I'm hoping, dude, we see $880 Ethereum one more time.
Hey man, anything's possible for sure, I would, and then as far as Chainlink and Near, Chainlink, Near, Ethereum, quite a few other altcoins are printing some pretty decent bullish divergence on 4-hour time frames. It's not every altcoin, but the ones that are showing, I mean, they got some pretty massive divergences putting in. So it's interesting to see. Near has been one that near and dear for quite a while here, right? The reason I like Near so much is coming out of last quarter, it put in one of the largest ranges that if cycled in full would be like 400% from low to high. Obviously, we've chipped away at a lot of that so far, but the low of Near came in at about $2.87. The high of this range comes all the way up into $13. There's quite a bit of major targets along the way, one of which we just came up to, which was a 3-month and the golden pocket here at basically $6. Got a pullback out of that. Right now, we're basically back testing the current range. I mean, there's all good things lining up for near, in my opinion. And, obviously you got some clear invalidations. If you start really, losing 460, so another 20 cents from here, and start closing pretty convincingly below there, then you're probably going to head down a little bit lower. Otherwise, though, from here, I still think we got some upside here. All depends on, the Bitcoin movement, I guess. But if you're just looking at near as a whole, I think it's got some more upside for sure, all the way up towards about 11, and then that 13 could really come into play. With that being said, that's like the highest of high side. So that's, putting Bitcoin once again at the highs, Ethereum at 2,700, like things of that nature. So those would, all kind of have to align more than likely. Chainlink, same, not as wide of a range in play, but definitely got some decent bullish divergence printing. Just actually punched back into the range a little bit there. That's probably what OC Pet Doctor was talking about. So, that's not necessarily 100% confirmed quite yet, but for me, getting back above 855 for Link, there's an untapped quarterly right above it at $10. And then essentially there's an entire new range right above that. So if we re-enter that, we got a lot of, ground to cover essentially, but some really nice targets above, upwards of about $15 and then some. So, but for now, for Link, I'd be looking for that untapped quarterly at about $10. So from right now, we're at about 760. That'd be another like 30% move to the upside here.
Dude, that's great. I mean, like I said before, right? I'll say it again. It's pretty much. I'm hoping for lower ranges, right? I'm trying to stack as much as I can in these bear market times, because that's where the generational wealth is going to be created. I'm not a day trader, right? So I'm hoping for these lower lows, just so I can stack. And if Chainlink is one of those that I'm trying to accumulate as much as I can of, they're just connected with everybody. Absolutely, any project, anything out there, they're connected. You go to their website, you look them up, you go to the partners, or you go to whatever, Chainlink. So that's definitely something I have my eye on, and I think it has good future. I know their tokenomics is not great, and there's a lot of selling pressure on Chainlink, but I think that will change at some point, and it's just gonna have a blast off price rip like it did last time. And with the way the institutions are getting more involved into these cryptos, I think Chainlink has a bright future. But that's just me talking strictly fundamentals, nothing TA at all. So don't take my word for it, guys.
I like it. I'm a big fan. I mean, Chainlink, I think we can all agree, I think has some bright future ahead. So, yeah, man, I wish I could share my screen with you, though. I had some really nice charts prepared. So that Ethereum one has just been playing like a fiddle.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think Ethereum is going to lead the charge and maybe have even a little altcoin season with the merge happening, right? If the merge is successful and everything goes well in September or whatever it is, I think we could possibly see, Ethereum leading the charge and pumping all the altcoins for just at least for a short period of time.
Yeah. Magic, do you, like I was going to say about time, right? So we kind of always go on this because it's the number one question for everybody is like, what is, is the bear market over if this low is the low and all this and all that? And, Magic specifically does a lot based on time frame, right? With the, excuse me. And, it's one thing to kind of like pay attention to that because he's been talking about Q4 for quite a while and how things line up. And you want to go over anything in terms of that?
Yeah,
Magic?
we'll go over that. We'll cover it one more time. Not to overuse the word. Time-wise, there's really only two timelines that I'm looking for. This is the macro one that was charting for this last cycle, essentially. So your low, your 42% pump when China unbanned Bitcoin the first time. We have to note the first time. Your break at the 0.5, and then right here is when things start to slow down. So this is your 32% pullback. After that, we've come into the 618 here at the lows. We were also looking at a different time pivot for, I think it was June 20th. I think we bottomed on the 18th, though. So a couple days early, but still came in when we were looking for it. The next pivot is coming in October. October, I believe, 9th is what I have here. So that would be your golden fib for this larger pool. And then also, if you were just to be looking at things and saying, well, they have to play out the same way, which they don't, but it never hurts to take a look and see how things stack up just to kind of compare. So you do have a pivot coming in for sure, coming in towards the end of Q4. So we have the 9th of October and then the 8th of November for that. So that would be the areas on the chart that I'd be looking for. Q4 is still a really big time frame. I think that's when we're going to really find out, like, is this bottom in? It's going to be sometime in that region, sometime around October to November. We'll find out if this truly is the bottom, or are we going to retest it? You know, if you were measuring things like, I've heard some people say, what if we get a V-shaped recovery? I think that we will. I've shown people in the group this. It's a very basic way to kind of gauge it. You can say, well, this is the last V-shaped recovery we had. If you were to compare that to where we are now, are we looking at a similar timeline? You know, but you also have to remember, let's go to the 0.5s. Yeah, that'll be better. That this would put your V-shaped recovery back at resistance in September 6th, so about 3 weeks. And this was quite the move. You know, this was coming all the way back into a macro resistance here at about, what, 10K, 10.5K off of 3K. So that's almost a 200% move off the lows. You know, if you were to see something similar, you know, looking for that V-shaped recovery, you'd have to really be pushing. Like, I mean, this would be absolutely insane to see, which would put you all the way back at 47K or 46.1, I guess. We'll even call it that, the yearly open that we covered earlier. So that would imply that this move would be moving pretty quickly. I just don't foresee that happening. So I think you're going to have to wait till Q4 to figure out if this low technically is in, if we're going to get a confirmation low. And I think a sideways grind is going to be the name of the game. And time points that way, we don't really have anything that's saying otherwise yet, at least not on the price action. So unless they come out and they start, you know, quantitative easing again, like, I just don't foresee there being any kind of a, you know.
Yeah, I know they definitely tried to reduce the inflation with that new bill by printing another, you know, $720 billion or whatever it is. But I'm sure it'll reduce it at some point. Yeah, no. I doubt they're going to be able to keep up the idea of continuing to raise rates. I just don't see that having something they're going to be able to do long term. But at the same time, like, you know, that's all just me guessing at that point, just speculating, saying that I don't think they will. We don't know what they're going to do. They 100%. Say, you know, and for a long time up until this year, this is the first year that they've really kind of started following their own schedule. If you look at it, where they'd say, oh, we're going to raise rates like 3 times. They said that for like years in the past, and they never raised rates. And this is the first time they're actually coming through and they're doing it. So how long are they going to keep up with that? How long are they actually going to do what they say before they get put on with some pressure from outside, you know, sources, whatever it may be, to lower those rates again? According to them, you know, they're going to slow down the rate hikes. And then I think 2023, we should see flat, maybe 1 or 2 raises to get to their target, and then maybe even a decrease going into 24. And this is like a long-term picture, you know. If they were to speed that timeline up, though, and they started flattening it out and then looking for a decrease in rates earlier than that, yeah, things could get very interesting. But until that happens, it's like, what are you going to do? You know, all you're doing is speculating, saying, I think they're going to do this, but there's really nothing to back it up. 100%. Exactly right. We don't know what they're going to do. No matter how dumb or smart you think these people are, there's no way we're going to be able to read their mind unless we have an insider dropping some information, right? So there is no reason to speculate that they're going to do one thing or another. Just got to wait and see. Guys, I appreciate you guys coming on the show every Thursday for TA Thursday, right? We're coming up here on our 1-year anniversary of the show next Monday on the 22nd. So it's been almost a whole year since CVO and leading crypto. Maybe it wasn't leading crypto back then, but you know, that have been coming on the show almost every single Thursday, guys. So I definitely appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, one full year, dude.
I've been holding it down for a minute.
Yeah, man.
It really has.
It's been a ride, dude. It's been a long ride, but
you guys are almost at 10K. I just looked, man. You guys are getting close to that 10K mark. You're getting up there to 8,000.
Yeah, man, we're grinding away there. We're grinding away, you know, slowly but surely. We're gonna be here for a very long time. So
you guys are consistent though, like every day. Like I've noticed that every day. You guys are, one of you two is on here hosting a show.
Yeah, yeah. That's sometimes, like right now we divide and conquer kind of scenario. Taking the week off to work on the smart contracts with the NFT project. I also got a bit of a cold, and then now Nick is traveling, so now I'm doing the show on Thursday. But he'll be back. He'll be back on tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. I won't be here Friday or Saturday because I'm gonna be busy working on the smart contract.
Hopefully you get
Nice.
to feeling better, man.
No days off.
Never a day off, dude. Even if I'm not on the show, I'm over here just just grinding away with the NFT smart contract.
You know what they say, man. Crypto never sleeps. So it's true. Just like your baby, it never sleeps, dude.
Dude, for sure, dude, for sure. Oh my god, dude, you don't even know. But yeah, guys, appreciate you guys coming in here. Any last words before we sign off?
Not really, man. Everybody take care, trade smart, wait for the good opportunities. They're coming. It's just you got to be patient and ready.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry I couldn't showcase my beautiful charts, but next week I'll have them primed and ready for you.
All right, dude, awesome. So everybody, remember, smash the likes, join the Discord, Twitter Space 9 p.m. Eastern time, and like always, question everything, trust nothing, and hodl like it's hot.
I don't like it's cold.